How's it going, good people? This is Eddie Gray, and here we are. We're inviting the world's first virtual sampler in AutoTune Slice. This is a very exciting moment, and I believe a pivotal moment in our industry because this tool can do what really a lot of tools can't. And it's exciting because everybody keeps bringing something new to the table, and of course, we're all just going to grow and we're all just going to benefit from this. So what can AutoTune Slice do that the others cannot? Well, it can sample, it can slice, it can loop, apply effects processing, and much, much more. Now, I was surprised because it comes with a bunch of presets, high quality presets at that. But one of the things that was really interesting about this was the fact that they're not just thinking about this in terms of vocals. Of course, Antares is known for their vocal auto-tune suite, but in this case, they're doing something really special, and I want to kind of introduce it to you. Another thing that should be noted is you can drag and drop, and that's all great, but you can also record into AutoTune Slice, so I thought that was really special as well. Just to get this party started, let me just show you what this thing sounds like out of the box. Here we go. All right, so in the context of a beat, so to start, this thing has a beautiful looking GUI. It looks like they have created this to catch a wide net for people who want to do the vocal thing that we would expect from today's modern music, but also those who want to experiment and use this perhaps as a way to utilize beats and instruments into their music productions. I believe at the core of this sampler is the fact that you can use the AutoTune DNA within its infrastructure. In other words, you don't have to go outside of this plugin to be able to use what Antares is known for. So you really do get that signature sound if you're using the presets, or if you decide to drag and drop your own samples, or as I will show you in a bit here, if you decide to record into the AutoTune sampler. Now, a big piece of this software is the ability to slice up your samples, and this can be automatic, it could be done manually. These slices can overlap each other, they can have varying lengths, they can be completely isolated, or you can kind of mix and match. So there's a lot of flexibility for beat makers, producers, composers, etc., etc. I do have to say the very fact that they have provided presets from some of the A-list players in the game, it does really kind of give this an edge over the competition. And so I thought that was just a good look on Antares. I also just want to say that there are a bunch of great effects that, again, Antares is known for. They have a signature sound that you will instantly recognize when getting into the software. Let's listen to a couple more presets, and then we will start to break down the plugin from the inside out. Here we go. The top left, we have the Browse tab where we find presets or user presets, and then we can go a little bit deeper into the edit page here in a second. If I click inside of this display, you can see that they have prepared a whole bunch of great stuff for us. If you'd like to favorite presets, you can do so by clicking on the heart icon. Let me go into this chopping pack and let's check out Can't Go On. You can see that the root is C2. So this is really great. Again, it has that sound that we all expect, that we all have come to know and listen to on the radio. So this specific pack only has 4 sounds. It sounds absolutely stellar. Again, I do recommend an EQ setup with a little bit of a high pass, low cut, just to kind of clean up the sound as a whole. So this is kind of the first step, the first stage, and this in and of itself makes this completely worth it and useful in my arsenal, and will be helpful to many, many, many creatives out there. If it does have one chink in its armor, it's that when you do sample, you have to sample within the framework of the plugin. So you will start to acquire more and more WAV files, MP3, MP4, depending on what you're using, because there is metadata kind of associated with the track. And so as of now, so far as I understand, you cannot outsource this. So that is the one thing about this plugin, is you are collecting these samples. Look, if you burn to audio, you can delete this stuff later. So I guess that is perhaps consolation for some of you, but I just want to get that out of the way. So let's go ahead and drag in something into the interface. It was one of the features that I really thought was amazing, the fact that they're giving the user that much flexibility. And not that you could just drag and drop, but that you could actually record into AutoTune Slice. Thought pretty remarkable. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in this loop here. Let's take a listen. We see that we're in slice mode. And so there are 2 different ways that we can use this plug. I don't want it to detect every single slice. Instead, I'm going to have it detect by transient. So in order to go into that mode, we want to click on this tool menu, click on the grid and say, hey, can you detect by transient? Let's take a listen. So the transient mode has been set, and I'm going to click on reslice, and that is going to show me the detection markers. And to get rid of that click, I'm hoping, again, I can go back into zoom slice and I can take that and I can move it ever so slightly over to the left. Let's see if we can pull this off. No, it's still clicking. Let's get out of zoom slice, and then maybe I'll just move this. There we go. So that's how you would labor and work to make sure that these things are coming across clean. Same thing with this one here. We can move this back. That one sounds okay. That one has a little bit of a click. There we go. And sometimes the click is part of the sound, so don't miss that. So playback controls right here in the bottom will again allow me to play this forward and back. You can have this play all the way through. And so as soon as I let go of the specific MIDI note, it stops playing. So that's great. You also have kind of just a straight one shot. It'll play across no matter how long you hold it. And we have a loop forward mode. Okay, loop reverse would do what you would expect, and then forward to reverse moves back and forth. Okay, so in addition to that, we have amp envelope and pitch envelope controls. So this can get pretty deep pretty fast, so I won't cover this to a great extent. But the fact is that you can play with the sample. Do you want it to come in right away? Or do you want it to swell in? So if I lift up that attack, see, it's taking a little bit of time before you can actually hear the sample. So these ADSR controls are set up for you to play with the envelope. So let's say you want this to just play out all the way, increase the release. As soon as I let go of the key, Again, depending on how you set it, you can have that play out. So yeah, nice envelope controls. And then again, at the bottom here, you got the AutoTune sound, what has made them a fixture in our industry. Very important to set the proper input type. So right now, let's see, I'm dealing with a singer. I think her register sounds like it's in that world. And then the key of this song is C. And so you're going to want to make sure you are hip to what the key is of the song. If you don't have a lot of experience with what is the key of my song, one of the tips that I recommend is that you check out one of AutoTune's plugins. It's called Auto Key, and quite literally, it is insane. It just literally detects the key of any song, sample, what have you. And if you haven't downloaded the app version of this, you really should. I believe it's free from what I remember. And it's called Auto Key. I've tried it on a couple of occasions and it is flawless. And again, the price is right, free. So go ahead and download that today. It's just what every producer should have. So we've covered most everything inside of slice mode. I want to go into chromatic just so you hear what that sounds like. But besides the AutoTune rack, you have AutoTune effects. Not only do you have effects that you could turn on and off, but of course you can interchange these because they do work in serial, so one is affecting the other. But they also have presets. So not only do you have packs that you can use, but you also have effects presets that you can also utilize in your productions, but favorite as well. Bear in mind, the only one of these effects that you can't really switch in a modular way is the first one. And that's just for technical reasons as stated in the user manual. So let's go into the chromatic tab and I will click on one of these samples. All right, so I'm getting another one of those clicks, so I'll move the marker back. Okay, so then now, rather than this being a slice loop machine, it now turns into a sampled keyboard. And so I can play this the bottom of the register, and it sounds like you would expect stretched out. And I can also play this way up in the register, and it speeds up significantly. And that's just due to the technology, but if I turn off Verispeed here, all of a sudden, it's all fair game, right? If I play high in the register, or if I play low, it's all linking up to project tempo, in this case, 125. If I do want to sync that, I do have to hit that button right there. Everything is now connecting to the DAW. And we are good to go. You can also disconnect from the DAW project tempo as a whole. So again, quick overview. We have the browse tab. This basically gets us there very quickly. We can just get some sounds going. Great packs. I foresee this being an incredible part of what they do and something that I continuously go back to. And then on top of that, we can edit what they give us, right? So that's amazing. We can drag and drop our own samples and add effects, add the quintessential auto-tune sound, play with the mode, right? Have this reverse, move back and forth. You've got some ADSR controls for your amp and pitch envelope. And if that wasn't enough, you can also record into this, right? So let's listen to this next example really quick. Check it out. All right, and let's pretend that we're looking around and we find some kind of vocal sample. I don't have anything at the top of my mind, so let me just try and see if I could find something. Out for the Actually, I don't mind this one very much, so let's go ahead and try this out so that I can sidechain AutoTune to, in this case, angelic vocal effects. and we're going to pick up that audio from there. All right. And then I'm going to tell AutoTune Slice to start recording this sample. All right, let's go. So now I took that idea, and that could have been a hook from your song, that could have been a throwaway line, that could have been a transition, what have you. When I go into AutoTune now, again, depending if I'm inside of Slice or chromatic mode, this is going to behave a little bit differently. But regardless, if I'm in Slice, now I can take that and perhaps recreate it. Let's go into the playback mode and let's shift this into forward pass endpoint. Okay, now why this is important is because what ends up happening here is that this plays the entire sample all the way through. So I'll bring the release knob and the sustain knob all the way down, and we're just listening to the sample. So again, a lot of creativity here. And bear in mind that if I look through the keyboard, the root begins at C2. So I'm going to go ahead and just, for fun, go into the pattern region inside of Logic. And I'm just going to start positioning a bunch of different notes. Okay, and let's see what this sounds like. Okay, so again, I can click on that sample right there. You might want to select key select again. When I do click, it's in focus, and then now I can change parameters. So I want to change the pitch, and so we'll do that there. Let's do, I think that would be good as well. Let's change that lower, and then it's kind of quiet, so I'll lift up the gain as a whole. If we switch to chromatic, we can take that line right there, or any one of these samples. Let's take this one. And we can play it like an instrument. Absolutely incredible. This is really the beginning of something new in our industry. I foresee this being very telling. I think a lot of companies are going to start bringing their A game. I don't think people can afford not to. With products like this that are coming out in the market, it really is inspirational in a lot of ways, and it puts a lot of pressure, a lot of healthy competitive pressure on companies to really step up their game. I see this as being of a stronghold in what I'm doing, and I look forward to using it, spending a lot more time with it to really get some of the nuances out. Again, the only downside being that it does have to collect the samples, and so if they're able to externalize these so we can save them, you know, on some kind of hard drive, that would be fantastic. But other than that, I do think this is an incredible plugin. I do want to say that the fact that you can edit on a per slice basis really makes this special in so many ways. Again, I haven't really seen anything like this with this level of flexibility. You can change the gain, pan, pitch, and actually the root of the note as well. So this is Eddie Gray signing off. I will be creating more content with this, and I look forward to utilizing this within my music productions. I wanted to thank you so much for being a part of the channel. If you're liking what we do here, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that like and the notification bell. And if you appreciate AutoTune Slice, you decide you want to get it, go to Antares, tell them that Eddie Gray sent you as a measure of good faith, and I'm going to sign off. There's a lot more stuff coming soon, a lot more plugin reviews. I'm starting to formulate a lot of contacts and relationships in the industry. And so I really have you guys to thank. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to grow and to learn every single day. I'm going to get out of here. Have yourselves a good day. Have a good night. Catch you on the next one. Take good care.